a secretary, a membership coordinator, economic development coordinator. So these 4 roles you have to have. It's other roles that you will you can build, you want to build on your committee, but these are the roles that you have to have laid out when you present it to the executive committee. So when you have a president, a secretary, a membership coordinator, and an economic development coordinator, then you're going to reach out to the executive committee and lay this out, and then it's a $50 application fee where you lay the president, how the branch came to the conclusions by an elections locally to say that this is going to be our president, our secretary, a little bit about each person that is in that position. And so this is what it takes to be a local branch of InPDUM. Next slide. InPDUM standard meeting agenda. So this is important. This agenda, what we're talking about is we will be laying out, the executive committee is going to be sending out to everyone the general agenda of InPDUM. Like we said throughout our program is, your agenda sets the stage of what the local branch should be doing from time to time. And so one of the things that have to be on every local branch of InPDUM, organizing committee of InPDUM, part of our region strategies, all have to adopt this agenda, which will have on there an office. One of the contradictions that we experienced is that we were to open up local offices wherever we are. These are for the community to be able to find us. It set us apart from anybody else because having a local place where people can come and gather for meetings, for Sunday rallies, to purchase, their buttons, to be able to come in and fill out an intake form about how the police have harassed them or slum lords is super critical to the development of the local InPDUM work and all of our work wherever we are. We're training people to be able to see themselves as as government, the government body, to take themselves serious and see the solutions in us. And so it's so important for people not to just be able to find us on cyberspace, but in their townships, in their community. So this agenda is super important for everyone. So we have a goal to make sure that agenda is being sent out, and you're going to be able to fill in the blanks. Like here, St. Louis, one of our local campaigns that is specifically to the local St. Louis is Keep 28. So that will be on our agenda, but it's not a Keep 28 in San Diego. So San Diego might be, local campaign might be African Shore Genocide and the Africans at the border. And so that will be on their agenda. But one thing that will be on all of our agendas, no matter where you are internationally, is a campaign office. And actually like saying how we raising the resources, what do we do from meeting to meeting to meet that goal. So next year in 2022, we're going to be presenting offices. If we move like this, comrades, we can't do anything but be successful. Next slide. What is a branch? What do branches do? So branches do regular meetings. It's very important that local branches don't just cancel meetings. I don't care if it's just 2 of you. Sometimes it was me and Fofi, and it was other members of InPDUM, but they wasn't coming to the meeting. So we had to continue to make those struggles. But it was very important that we met every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and everybody in the branch knew. So even my mom that might not come to meetings always know and get an email of the agenda, the meeting time, and for her to be able to join. And, the action items come out and go to all the members, no matter if they there or not. So if you continue to meet on a Monday and be very diligent on making those meetings, then you're going to see, just like in St. Louis, now we don't have a meeting where it's, less than 7 people that come into the local meeting. So it's very important for you to have regular meetings and those meetings be set The calendar sent out. So everybody that's a part of InPDUM knows every Monday at 5 o'clock, we have a local InPDUM meeting, and they have access to that agenda, and the action items are sent out on a consistent, regular basis, just as our manual lay out how the action items should go out. Outreach. Outreach should be a part of your agenda, a part of the agenda. All the members should have a regular schedule of your outreach. If you consistently set outreach schedules, then this allows the masses to be able to participate. Because if people don't know the expectation of the branch, or if they don't understand the expectation of their self, then they can never be a part of it. So it might just be myself and, Brooklyn and Brianna going out to do outreach. But if I'm consistent at 12 o'clock, outreach happened on Wednesday, then the local masses can be able to know every Wednesday we have outreach, and they can be a part of it. And one of the things that we started doing here locally to get people involved in actually participating is we have outreach that is scheduled to do collectively, but we encourage people to do outreach on their own. Because people have work schedules, kids, and things like that. We really want them to be able to have an orientation on how to do outreach at church, at work, in your neighborhood. So it's no excuse for no one to be able to say why they can't recruit into InPDUM. So we have outreach that is done collectively, and then we encourage all of our members to report on outreach that they do in wherever they are. And this has been helped us to grow tremendously. And then it also made people want to come and do the collective outreach so they can learn how to do outreach, in other places. So outreach is critical. So we have different forms of outreach that we're going to be able to talk about throughout here that I want people to understand. So we have outreach that we do that is like a teach-in, where we have, you can get a tent depending on your area, or you could do it at your campaign, at your office, at your InPDUM office. And these teach-ins are really good to just go right to the people, where we're not actually asking the people to come to us, but we actually gonna go to the people. So where do people gather? Understanding the terrain that you're a part of. So right here in St. Louis, we have, we have parks that is in the 3rd Ward, the 21st Ward, and all around the Uhuru House, because we want to be able to gain territory. And so you want to be able to claim territory, which is super critical for you to be able to say that that's our territory. So knowing that terrain of how to do outreach really help you to know where you're going to strategically set yourself to do a teach-in, where you go right to the people, because people are right there in O'Fallon Park. You set up your tent, you got your speaker, you got your outreach table set up with Burning Spear newspaper, with your red, black, and green flags, your buttons, your literature, your propaganda, something to catch the people attention. So having posters, 11 by, these posters are really, really good and helpful to put out, and then, catchy things that the masses can connect with, straight like that, what I'm saying? F the police. Like, this is something that catch their attention, like, whoa, did they just say that? And then they come over and you can participate in doing a teaching. And one of the things that we did that the party, the African People's Socialist Party, had put out is for all the regions to be able to get these, I hope you can see this, poster to have the points. So these are easy to do, and I really recommend. InPDUM do have our own, have a platform, and really is like 73 different points, but all of them is right in here in these 14 points. So you could use that, or you could use this right here. These are very, very good. When I joined InPDUM, page 10 of the Burning Spirit was my best friend. It really helped me to recruit and to be able to engage and struggle against bad teachings in Ferguson or wherever I was learning these points. So you can, and the masses are attracted to these points, and then they adopt these points to be their own. So these are great for teach-ins. And so you're going to be doing regular outreach. So teach-ins is one of those forms. Door-to-door outreach is so important. It's a lot of reasons why you would want to do door-to-door. During the campaign, we knocked every door in the 3rd Ward, in the 21st Ward. This is how we were able to really be able to say that we can claim this as our territory. So really knocking those doors. So sometimes you knock doors and you actually want to speak to the people. And with COVID, we have some COVID, things where, we want to make sure we wear our face masks. We're doing outreach, but we're not letting this virus stop us from engaging and meeting the people, because they out and about. So we have to be too as organizers, but we have to protect ourselves. So, door to door, sometimes we're doing door to door and you knock on the door and you actually want to engage and talking with that person, going to the door and say, hey, my name is Kalambayi. I'm with the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. We are a mass organization that is fighting for the liberation of African people all over the world. I would love to tell you about our organization, and I want you to become a member. Like, just, door to door, knocking on the doors, introducing yourself with membership cards, with the application, right there for them to be able to fill out this application quickly, the intake, and be able to pay their membership right there with a swipe, or, on your phone, where they can go quickly on your phone and become a member right there at the door. We also do another form of door-to-door, which is drops, where you're not actually going to knock on the door and speak to nobody, but what you want to do is put out you want to put out a piece of propaganda. We had a campaign where we wanted to, educate our people about the Black Unk and let them know about how to protect themselves. And we wanted to just drop this flyer, and we wanted to put out as many flyers as we possibly can. So drops is a reason why you would do that. Or it could be a campaign around, these petty merchants in our community. And, we dropping information to let people know, hey, don't shop there, shop here, because this is a petty merchant, but it's a Black power merchant right over here for you to get your things at. And we summon it up the whole time, and we drop in that piece of propaganda. Or, it's a neo-colonial puppet in office that we are recalling, and we want the community to know exactly why this person is being recalled. So we are doing drops. So drops are a very important outreach to know how to do. And when you're doing drops, it's very important for you to use the manual, because we always know that the state will want to come and move on us. And our goal is to win the war, not some petty fight. So you never want to drop a piece of literature on a mailbox. You want to put it, strategically exactly where it go. And we're going to go into we're going to have a mini intensive for local InPDUM, not just local InPDUM, but all of our forces internationally, where we'll go more in depth on what, those drops that I'm speaking of is. And so Four Corners is one of my favorite. I think soapboxing and Four Corners is one of my favorite outreaches. So right here in St. Louis, we have the One Africa, One Nation market that we constantly engaged in, really salting the earth to let the community know about these. So we, you can purchase these from, the ODC. They sell these flags right here. And these are really, really, really good to purchase, and you can sell and, put out what the red, black, and green flags are. Comrades and brothers and sisters, this, if you want, in St. Louis, we have horizontal violence, right? And one of the ways to fight it is not to have a sign in our yard to say we must stop killing each other. But this flag is very powerful to help our community to know that forget the red and the blue, but the red, black, and greens unite us all and help us to see that we're not each other's enemy. And these flags are very, very important to outreach. I would say it has been a way to really raise struggle against, the whole horizontal violence issue, and really help the community to understand what this flag represents and how they are must protect it. And so, Four Corners is, taking 4 different corners and having 4 different people, and as the chorus come, we just giving literature. So you're not going to get as many contacts, when you're doing Four Corners, because you're putting out propaganda. You having an event, you having a Sunday rally, and you just want to put out the propaganda. You're not going to get contacts per se. Sometimes people so engaged they will pull over, but you want to move the traffic and you want to put out your propaganda fastly. Four Corners. So soapboxing is really good to partner for soapboxing with Four Corners, where you got two people that's in the street passing out the literature. You have one person that's standing right there saying, get your Burning Spirit newspaper, the oldest revolutionary newspaper in the world, written by us, published by us, and put out by us. Can't nobody tell our narrative but us. You know what I'm saying? And just soapboxing, saying fist up, fight back. It's our responsibility. Just soapboxing, standing flat foot, just putting it out. A lot of people say that Malcolm X was amazing at soapboxing, and this is how he was known from a certain street corner that he sold his paper. So soapboxing is super critical, and it's a way to really agitate the people. And then I'm sorry, I'm spending a lot of time here. Fundraising is another thing that the local branches have to do. Fundraising, and we want to move beyond fundraising and having economic development. You know what I'm saying? We want every branch to be economic secure. And we do that by, moving beyond just fundraising, but always having on our calendar how we raising resources, and fundraising, because we know that economic and political is one. We never want to be able to be in a situation where, we have to raise a struggle around housing, but then when we go to the print shop, we don't have the money to buy the paper, to get the propaganda. So it's super important that we constantly engage with economic development, raising resources to fund our own movement, to open up our campaign office, to pay our rent, to pay our gas, electric, and to also be able to buy the necessary propaganda and the things that we need to continue to win the masses into political life. So fundraising is something else that the branches would do. Sunday rallies, comrades. It's so important to have Sunday rallies weekly. So you have your weekly organizing meeting where we talk about what we're doing, and also, our next rally, and having a monthly calendar somewhere where the people always know that them doors are going to be open, that they're going to get curb moved, that they're going to know what's happening locally. I like to say is I didn't even know we had all the people. So this is where we bring the masses back into political life. We have local articles. We get the local paper. We read something that's happening locally right there. We talk about the international scope of our struggle. We also talk about what the community have a place where they can raise issues. You always have to have time on the agenda for them to be able to raise things. That we have culture at our Sunday rallies, and it's a culture of people are used to going to church, and so we have our Sunday rallies that is revolutionary revivals, church, where we revive the bones that you looking forward to. I got to get through another week of dealing with colonialism, and I got to go to the rallies to get the word, what I'm saying? So I can go out and tell people for the rest of the week, the good news of Black power. And so Sunday rallies is super critical, having rallies. It's another thing that branches should be involved in. Buying and selling the burning spirit. It's not optional, comrades. Branches will be seriously have to be, the IEC will be holding all branches accountable to the Burning Spirit newspaper. It's our responsibility to make sure that this paper is out. InPDUM is one of the greatest tools in the hands of the African People's Socialist Party. And it's our responsibility to make sure that we purchase in our Burning Spirit. And, you have to purchase at least 50 spears, but we should be going beyond that, thinking of ways. Here in St. Louis, we were able to use the Burning Spirit as economic development to the young people, where we living in communities where people are living off barely $5 a day, and that's a family of 4. And so the young comrades here in St. Louis were able to go out with me, get the Burning Spirit newspaper, and we had challenges where they got to keep their dollar. So people in the branch and the party, donated Burning Spirits. Party members had to purchase so many. Some of them was purchasing over the amount. and donating them to InPDUM. And then we were able to use this as a way to feed young people, that they don't have to steal out and break out of somebody's window and steal out of their car, where we had lost one of our young comrade that I was working with, got shot in the head for trying to steal a car. And these comrades would say, I would rather work for you, Kalambayi, than the dope man. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though the dope man was trying to give them more money, they seen that this was easy resources and it made them feel good. And they love how the people respond to them for buying the paper. So, man, I just really appreciate the Burning Spirit for being in place to be able to do this and see how, it has really won territory and the unity of the young people that really have mad respect for us and what we do, and learning about African internationalists through selling the Burning Spirit newspaper. So this is a great tool for every branch and every organizer to get the Burning Spirit and sell the paper, and invite young people to go out and sell it with you. And what we did is we raised resources too. So whoever sold the most papers, then they doubled their money. So it's just another way to get, like, it had got crazy, y'all. They was going out and selling like 50 papers. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Y'all busting the bank on me, So it was very fruitful. So purchasing the Burning Spirit and selling the Burning Spirit is super important. And I want to add to it and say, you want to recruit people to write, because, we have a standing column in the paper, African Resist Now. And, we want that should sound like the people. It should be local issues right there, out of the mouths of the people there. So recruiting people and teaching them how to write, and then we can, shape it and get it to what we need. And even if it don't reach the newspaper, this is something that we can use on our platforms, on our website, to constantly put new information out there of what's happening and struggles that we involved in everywhere. So writing for the Burning Spirit is a must as well. Next slide. Okay, so yeah, I always do this to myself, jump in front of the whole PowerPoint. So, these are the types of outreach. So I talked a lot about that. So you see right here, we have comrade out of Philadelphia, Melissa, Uhuru comrade, if you're watching. And she's selling the Burning Spirit, and she has a table behind her. You see, she has chairman's books, like having literature books, and purchasing that from the Burning Spirit Network is very important. You want to have a kit of books, and you see the flags out there on the table, really nice, with the Burning Spirit newspaper, to really show people that we building contending and dual power, that we have our own our own Burning Spirit, that we publish our own books and we sell them. And these books are talking about our liberation struggle and giving them a deeper understanding of what it is all about, how the equilibrium is in balance, one Africa, one nation. The white response from white people overturning the culture, violence, and other, pieces of propaganda that will be on that table as well. So that's a beautiful example of, selling the Burning Spirit. We also, right here in the middle, got the comrades out doing foot walk, just foot traffic through an area where, it's going to be heavily foot traffic happening, selling the Burning Spirit. This is listen, if you struggling with depression, grab you some Burning Spirits and hit the block. And I guarantee you that whatever was on your mind before you started selling won't be on your mind after you sell that first paper. And another thing, comrades, don't trip off that one person that didn't want to buy your paper. Trip off everybody that did want to buy your paper, because sometimes you will dwell off the bad energy of somebody, and then it'll just throw you off, and now you vibrating low and you can't sell the paper. So you want to keep your energies high. You want to remember why you out there and how you salting the earth and how you changing the minds of people when you selling the paper. And then right here, on the last end, it's just, again, asking them, yo, you bought this amazing paper. I want to take a shot of you. And then, catching them pictures is important, because you can send them to the international office, and then this will go in our newsletter to show people and encourage people to see people purchasing and buying our Burning Spirit newspaper. So this is one type of outreach that is very important. Selling the burning spirit. I cannot overstate that. Uhuru. Next slide. So another, burning spirit studies. Okay, so right here you see Comrade Westbrook, and you see me. We right in the yard on College at my house where I live. This was a program with the African People's Socialist Party, the Midwest Region Rep, Comrade Malika. Let's shout her out, Uhuru, Comrade. And InPDUM joined right in with the party and the region strategy, and having, burning spirit studies on the stoop, having, again, going to the people, like not just waiting for them to come to your Sunday rally, but this is the work to bring them to your Sunday rally. You do these things, I guarantee you're going to build your Sunday rallies. So it's what we do before the rally that's super important. So right in the yard, inviting the community out, letting them know, hey, we're going to be having a 1-hour burning spirit study where we're going to be talking about the burning spirit newspaper. We're going to be talking about page 10. You see our comrades in Chicago right there, engaged in a burning spirit study, at the house inside, practicing social distancing, and, just have some little refreshments. You can do this with, your community neighborhood, or you could do it with, your college, or you could do it with your church members. Like I said, we got to be everywhere selling the burning spirit and creating these atmospheres. So if you one person that say, I'm in one area and I just can't seem to figure out how to recruit, these are great things that you can use in your area to recruit. Next slide. Okay, so another type is four corners. So we talked about four corners. This is not the best picture of four corners right here, but these are some beautiful pictures of our comrades engaged in, doing outreach right there in the townships, where they are. So this is in South Africa, our comrades. So this, with me not, me being never been to Africa, I can't really, I don't know how the streets are. So this could be definitely four corners, right? So again, four corners is when we just standing right flat foot, and selling the burning spirit, four different corners, selling the burning spirit newspaper. Next slide. Okay, soapboxing. This is a perfect picture of soapboxing. Again, these are our comrades in South Africa. Salute the comrades in Africa. They got they banner, having you a nice banner, purchase you a nice banner. Some people make their banner. You want to make sure that it's neat and very professional, because you want people to know that we are professional revolutionaries. We ain't playing, So how you present yourself is everything on how people perceive you. So you want to make sure that your area is nice. They got a nice banner up there. They dress nice. They look very serious. You got one person that is soapboxing, putting out the line. You got somebody that got the burning spirit. You got security right there watching us all around. And this is a beautiful picture of what soapboxing look like. Uhuru, next slide. Okay, so this is door to door. So I told you reasons why we do door to door. We got Timba right here, and Timba is bad at outreach. Knocking the doors. He got his burning spirits in his paper. He got his literature in his paper. He dropping those burning spirit newspaper. He's dropping that literature. Timba always is a great example of selling the burning spirit. Okay, and it's science. If we can't clone what we do, then it's not good. We want everything we do. We want to be able to dialectically be able to teach other people how to do it. So Timba always say you lead with some propaganda. That you give them. Can I tell you about the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement, the organization fighting for peace, bread, and Black power? Put it in their hands, say, we got this burning spirit newspaper. We want it's $1, and put out the line for that, and then you seal the deal. You put it in their hands so they can touch it, and it works. His science works. I used it. It works. Then you got Kobina that's doing right here, that's doing outreach in the southern region, and this is the door to door where he's actually knocking on the door and he's speaking to the person. He's telling them about you know, the International People Democratic Uhuru movement, and saying you could join today, right now, right here on this porch. You know what I'm saying? So this is door-to-door outreach right here. So you see Kobina right here. Actually, this picture, he's in St. Louis. I could tell that's right down the street from the Uhuru house. Okay, next slide. Okay, so these are tabling, you know what I'm saying? Again, you want to have your table really nice, professional. You know, we have this one table that where they got their t-shirts, they got the Burning Spirit newspaper, they got African wrist candy, they got Uzi on the table, they got their sign-in sheet for people to be able to sign in, and it looks very professional. That's actually in Philly, where we have the One Africa, One Nation market. So this is us selling our merchandise at our One Africa, One Nation market, where you see the comrades, you know, InPDUM right there. On the other pitch, we got Comrade Jess that is wearing "Don't Just Buy Black, Buy Black Power." You know, at the table again, you see the table is very neat, nice. Got our merchandise on the table, got our propaganda on the table. You want your table to not be cluttered and messy. You want it to look nice and crisp and be very professional. And this is another thing. You know, you don't have to wait to have a One Africa, One Nation market to do tables. You can do it right in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I used to live in an apartment complex, and I would set up a table just like this right there in a complex. You know, in the neighborhood complex or at the park. You know what I'm saying? Or if you a member at a church, if your pastor have a problem with you setting up a table of a PDUM, then you shouldn't be a member at that church anymore. So put them to the question. Make sure that you're going to a liberating church and your pastor is not Reverend Chickenbone, but he's actually teaching liberation, and he's talking about the revolutionary Jesus and not the Jesus that want to keep you a slave. So ask them. This is how you make sure that you're going to the right one, and say, hey, I wanted to see if I can set up a table and tell people about the International People Democratic Uhuru movement and put some literature on the table. And that'll really let you know if you're at the right church or not. So this is tables. Next slide. Another type is teachings. We talked about teach-ins. You know, this is our comrade in South Africa doing a teach-in. You know, he has a picture of chairman up there. And, you know, again, you want to use you know, you can use the Burning Spirit newspaper. You can use, you know, one of chairman's pamphlets that we have access to do it. And remember, comrades, that this is a mass organization. So you don't want to talk, you want to keep the political education at the level of the people. You don't give a baby a steak because the steak would choke them. It would kill them. So you would, you know, smash that steak up, and you want to give it to them in a way that they'll be able to digest it. So you want to make sure that we're giving political education at the basis of where the people are, and always summing it up, and then keep taking them higher and higher. So, you know, you want to talk about, you know, that they're colonized, and what do colonialism mean? You know, so buzzwords in the Burning Spirit is great political education. You know what I'm saying? So they can get used to certain words and certain things that we say and understand them as you give them political education. You know what I'm saying? That we're not fighting ideas in white people's head, but we're fighting colonialism. It's a great political education, and we have a lot of literature around that we are all African people, and the basis of where we get that from. How do we say that we are a nation of people? These are great political education for the masses to bring them into political education. So you want to make sure that your political education fits the group of people that you're talking to, and constantly summing it up to make sure that we're not speaking over the head, but we're speaking directly to the people. Next slide. Okay, so a branch in your city today, you know, yes, and I'm really excited in this segment that we are going to have a branch that reached out to us and said, during this convention, they are going to be consolidating a branch. And this is very historical, because we know that the first convention was held in Chicago, Illinois, Chi-Town, the Midwest. So Chicago, is they on right now? They traveled here, but they traveling back. But I believe they are on Zoom. Can we bring them up? And Uhuru, there we go. Uhuru. So we got Zenobia, and we have Comrade Kabula, and we have Comrade Tasha, that's with us right here from the local branch of InPDUM in St. Louis, in Chicago, Illinois, that has paid and qualified for being a branch of InPDUM. So we are rebuilding. Chicago is a beautiful city, and the party has done amazing work in Chicago. You can't go in Chicago and people don't know about the teachings of Chairman Amalia Shatella. So it's time for us to claim our own territory in Chicago. It's time for us to go back to our manuals and what it means to be a branch that carry out the mandates of InPDUM. So I'm really excited for these comrades. I salute you on today. And I want to allow the comrades to say something right now. Uhuru.
All right. Uhuru, I'm very excited to be building Chicago InPDUM branch with my comrades Kabula and Tasha. We look forward to planning an event soon in Chicago where the President Kalambayi can come and assist us in building our branch. I also want to salute you for the branch building presentation you just gave us. I like all of the new ideas. Anything I'm missing, comrades? I'm going to say something?
Self-determination, coming back to Chicago. Self-determination on the mask.
Uhuru.
Thank you, Uhuru.
And I just really want to salute Comrade Kabula, that's a member of the African People's Socialist Party that works with the region. And I want to salute Comrade Malika as well, that unites with InPDUM and this region to build InPDUM everywhere. And we are really excited that we're going to be building Chicago, Illinois, and then right across the water in East Boogie as well. We got East St. Louis, y'all. We call it East Boogie, in St. Louis. That we have an opportunity to build in East St. Louis right across the water. We have members that are from that area, and we want to build right there too. So we want to take over. We want to be everywhere. InPDUM got to be everywhere. And all we need is cadre. All it takes is one cadre force, and you can build the local InPDUM. So I hope this presentation that you found a lot of helpful information. And we're going to deepen this conversation about branch building and outreach and how to build everywhere we are by having a mini intensive. That's one of the things that we wanted to come out of this convention, to really struggle for people to participate in our mini intensive, where we can go, really get in depth and have those conversations about strategy on, building. One of the other things that I want to say that we didn't have in this slide, recently, I had been invited to a lot of funerals. And as we know, most of the time when we go, it's heavily about Jesus and God and inviting people to the cross. And I think that this is a great indication that the people, usually when people are at, when we are faced with death, people come there with answers, with sorrow, wanting to understand and things like that. So this is a great thing. This is a great opportunity for us to be able to put out the line and say that this is how we, this is how we fight for our ancestors. This is how we fight for our loss, our loss. To be able to speak at funerals and be able to take your clipboard. Don't forget your clipboard. Don't take, remember the red, black, and green flag to get to the family, and be able to watch, if Jesus was if Jesus was a revolutionary, why is your pastor or Uncle Town? Is very helpful how Chairman used those scriptures to be able to help people to understand. So I seen that as another way that we have been able to gain territory here in St. Louis. After the campaign, several families have reached out to us to speak at their funeral. And even in Chicago, we had an opportunity to speak at a funeral too. So these are another ways to be able to like I said, a lot of times people come there looking for answers. We got to be there to give them the right answer. So I wanted to say that as well. Again, comrades, I really want to salute this convention, and I hope that everybody found this workshop helpful. Fist up!
Fight back!
Fist up!
Fight back!
Uhuru!